Hi, my name is Patrick Reagan. Welcome to the Operating Systems Windows configuration, where we discuss the various tools to configure Windows 10 and 11, including Windows settings and control panel. In Part 3, Managing Devices, the video discusses how to use devices and printers in Device Manager to install and manage devices and device drivers. It also discusses Windows problems with devices, including disabled devices, device errors, and unknown devices. For those who are going to take the A+ exam, there are practice questions toward the end of the video. A computer is a collection of hardware devices, all of which are connected together or installed in a single case. Disk drives, keyboards, mice, modems, and printers are all types of devices. To communicate with the operating systems running on the computer, each device also requires software called a device driver. The device driver provides the operating system with information about a specific device. Device drivers are hardware-specific and operating system-specific. Older device drivers may not necessarily work in Windows 10 or 11. You'll need administrative rights to install the device driver. When a new device is installed and connected, Windows will search its index database. All driver files that are not part of the operating system are imported and stored in the C:\Windows/System32/driverstore/file repository folder. Today, most devices that connect to a Windows computer are plug and play. When a device is connected, the device is automatically recognized by Windows with minimal intervention by the user without having to do manual configuration or manually loading drivers. The driver is automatically installed and configured, and the device allocates resources and resolves conflicts. USB, eSATA-P, Thunderbolt, and IEEE 1394 can be added or removed while the machine and device is powered on. This is known as hot swappable. For a device to be connected while the computer is on, the computer and/or motherboard and the device must support hot swapping. USB mice and keyboards are common hot swappable devices. Typically, most expansion cards are installed or removed with the computer powered off. Some Windows device drivers use digital signatures, which is sometimes called driver signing. A signed driver shows that the device driver has met certain criteria for WHQL, Windows Hardware Quality Labs, which tests and is compatible with Windows. Digital signatures are required for 64-bit kernel mode drivers. The devices and printers found in the control panel provides an easy way to view, install, remove, and manage external devices connected to your computer, including pointing devices, multimedia devices, printers, and speakers. Devices and printers is much less complex than Device Manager. With devices and printers, you can add, manage, and remove printers, view what is in the print queue for the different printers, manage print server properties, and add or remove devices. When you click a device icon in the Devices and Printers folders, you can choose from a list of tasks that vary depending on the capabilities of the device. Device Manager is a useful tool to add, manage, and troubleshoot all devices in Windows. Windows can be started in multiple ways. It can be part of computer management, open through the control panel, listed in Administrative or Windows Tools, can be executed directly from the Start button by typing Device Manager, and execute the devmgmt.msc command. To open the properties of a device, you would locate it in the tree structure and double-click the device or right-click the device and click Properties. While the tabs will vary based on the type of device, all devices will typically have the following 4 tabs. The General tab displays the name of the device, its type, the manufacturer, its location in the system, and its status. The Device Status box indicates whether the device is functioning, and if not, provides troubleshooting help. The Driver tab displays the device drivers, provider, date, version, and digital signer, and provides buttons to display driver details, update, roll back, which is used when an upgrade of a device fails or causes problem with the system, uninstall the driver, and enable or disable the device. The Details tab displays extensive information about the driver and its properties. The Events tab shows the events or history of the device. Some devices will have a Resource tab. Resources tab displays the hardware resources being used by the device and indicates whether there are any conflicts with other devices in the computer. Interrupt Request Line, or IRQ, is when a component or peripheral, such as a network adapter or sound card, needs to get the CPU's attention. The device generates a signal on the interrupt request line. I/O addresses is a unique address that allows an adapter, a port, or device to exchange messages and data with the processor. Memory address is a unique address assigned to a memory chip installed anywhere in the system. The CPU uses these addresses when it accesses information inside the memory chip. Two devices cannot use the same resource, which causes a conflict. Today, conflicts are rare since virtually all devices are plug and play, which automatically reconfigures to avoid conflicts. After opening Device Manager, you can expand the various nodes to see the devices. To see the properties of a device, right-click the device and click Properties. The Driver tab will show the driver details and to install a driver. You can also roll back a driver if the driver does not work or cause additional problems. You can also disable and enable the device and uninstall the driver. If you right-click the computer, you can rescan for hardware changes. A black down arrow indicates a disabled device. To enable or disable the device, right-click the device in Device Manager and click Enable Device or Disable Device. A yellow triangle with a black exclamation point indicates a problem with the device. Open the properties of the device and look at the specific error. Make sure you have the correct driver. Try an updated driver from the manufacturer's website. Unknown devices indicates that Microsoft sees the device but cannot properly identify the device and install the correct driver. If you just installed a fresh copy of Windows and you get several unknown devices, it is most likely you will need to download and install your chipset drivers and related drivers that are for the system or motherboard. If you just installed a new device and it shows an unknown device, you'll most likely have to go to the vendor website to get the newest driver. If you cannot connect to the network, including the internet, and a network adapter is not shown in the device manager, you will need to use one of the built-in Windows drivers or download the driver used in another computer and copy the driver over using a USB drive. If it is a Dell, HP, Lenovo, or any other large company, go to their site, find your model, and check out the drivers for that model. If you still don't know which driver you're missing, try to look at the list with devices that you know about and see if anything is missing. If you still cannot figure it out, open the properties of the device, click the Details tab, and click Hardware IDs. Then use your favorite search engine and search for the first value of the hardware IDs to help determine what the actual device is. You can also try to update the driver by right-clicking the device in Device Manager and clicking Update Driver. Then click Search Automatically for Drivers and click Search for Updated Drivers on Windows Update, assuming you are connected to the Internet. Windows Settings and Control Panel allow you to configure or tweak keyboards and pointing devices. To adjust the keyboard, you would open Control Panel and click Keyboard using the icon views. From the Speed tab, you can configure the character repeat delay and rate and change the cursor blink rate. To configure mice, you would open Windows Settings and click Devices, Mouse, which allows you to specify which mouse pointer is the primary button, specify the cursor speed of the mouse, specify how many lines you can roll with the mouse wheel, multiple lines or one screen at a time. If you choose multiple lines at a time, you can use the slider to specify how many lines to scroll each time. To open Control Panel Mouse Properties, click the additional mouse options. The Buttons tab allows you to switch the primary and secondary buttons and to change the double-click speed. You can also turn on Click Lock, which is an ease of access feature that enables you to highlight or drag without holding down the mouse button. The Pointers tab allows you to change the mouse pointer and to enable pointer shadow. The Pointer Options tab allows you to change the pointer speed, enable snap to, and to hide the pointer while typing. The Wheel tab allows you to configure vertical and horizontal scrolling. The Hardware tab allows you to click the Properties button to open a Properties dialog box for the pointing device, which is the same as if you open the Device Manager Properties. For laptops with touchpads, there's a Windows Settings touchpad page under Bluetooth and devices that allows you to configure the cursor speed and sensitivity of the touchpad. You can also make sure pinch to zoom is enabled and what happens when you perform a 3-finger gesture or a 4-finger gesture on the touchpad. Windows also includes a tool called Microsoft System Information, which gathers information about your computer and displays a comprehensive view of your hardware, system components, and software environment, which can be used to diagnose computer issues. This tool was created to provide support personnel quick information about the computer. Besides checking the status of devices and drivers, don't be afraid to use your favorite search engine to research problems and errors that you encounter. Sometimes newer drivers can cause problems, and you may need to install an older driver or roll back a driver. A Windows update can also fix some problems. You can also check for compatibility for your system and operating system. Question: you have installed a new webcam and it's not operating correctly. Which of the following tools should you check next? Answer: Device Manager. Question: a computer does not have an audio output from the built-in speakers. However, the Windows Device Manager shows a down arrow for the audio device. How should you fix the problem? Answer: enable the audio device. Question: you purchase and install a new printer. However, you cannot print to the printer. You open devices and printers and it shows a generic printer. What should you do? Answer: download the correct driver from the manufacturer's website and install the driver. Question: what command would you use to open Microsoft system information? Answer: msinfo 32. Question: what type of driver is required for 64-bit Windows kernel mode drivers? Answer: a signed driver. For more information, visit these sites. In summary, today most devices that connect to Windows computer are plug and play. When the device is connected, the device is automatically recognized by Windows with a minimum intervention by the user without having to do manual configuration or manually loading drivers. Some Windows device drivers use digital signatures, which is sometimes called driver signing. The devices and printers found in the control panel provides an easy way to view, install, remove, and manage external devices connected to your computer, including pointing devices, multimedia devices, printers, and speakers. Device Manager is a useful tool to add, manage, and troubleshoot all devices in Windows. Thank you for watching this video. The next video will be Configuring Windows, Part 4, Managing the Windows Video System. Thank you.